Hi friends, this is Ambey international cricketer from Goa, on my show Sports Dangal. Today I have with me a different sport which I'm covering today is windsurfing expert Mr. Mark Butt. Mark sir, welcome to the show, welcome to Sports Dangal. Nice to have you with me. Mark Butt is India windsurfer who has been representing India in the late 80s and took part in Asian Games and a lot of things where he represented India. Welcome, Mark sir. Tell us something how you got into this sport. Let me come straight to the point. This is a sports dangle. It's not going to give you time for anything.
Superb. The location that we got into the sport is exactly where we're standing right now.
Okay.
There was a gentleman, his name is John Lucas, so one of the earlier Europeans who used to come to Goa, early 80s. And he, at one point of time, brought in a whole bunch of windsurfing boards, started a small shack. It was the second shack in the whole Treasure Beach.
Okay.
And over there he had fresh fruit juices and sailing.
Okay.
So that's where I used to live in Saligaon.
Okay.
We used to cycle from Saligaon to Baga.
Okay.
My mum, my dad, my sister and I, three cycles.
What age you were at that time?
I was 11.
11, okay.
Yeah. 9 or 11, I can't remember.
Okay.
One of the two.
Yeah.
And then that was the Sunday activity. Come down to St. Anthony's, have a small chocolate brownie, and then go into the water, swim, or learn how to windsurf.
Okay, so but you knew swimming. You were part of the seafront all the time.
Yes,
you were the seafront. Saligaon means you're from the seafront.
Yes.
So tell me something like how at the age of 11 were you able to control the sail? Or did you start with the sail, or did you just start with small boats, or how it moved?
You have to start in those days, and including now, when you're learning how to windsurf, you start with both together, the sail and the boat together.
Okay.
However, in those days, the sails, as you can notice on this sail, were quite big. I was only maybe 40 kilos, and for me to lift it up was quite difficult.
Okay, did you have this kind of like this catamaran kind of a thing?
No.
Or you were just a windsurf with a sail?
Windsurf. Just windsurf, yeah.
Because I know you like that.
Correct.
I know you were surfing at that era.
Yes.
When I stood in Donapala, basically, there was a surfing club or
exactly,
something.
same sail.
Okay, go on. Yeah, I'll keep interrupting you like this.
Absolutely
That's my role
fine.
in this dangle, actually.
It's very similar to sailing because the wind doesn't come from one direction. It stops and goes. Same sail.
You're always in the dangle with that.
Yes.
Okay, go on, sir.
So in terms of learning how to sail, to start, you have to lift it up it was not difficult, it was almost impossible because I didn't weigh enough.
Okay.
But once it came up, then the most important thing was to maintain balance.
Okay.
Because to prevent falling down and then taking hours and hours or minutes and minutes to pull it up again. So you learn quickly.
You learned, and then you enjoyed the feel of the flow, and that when it started sailing.
Yes.
So you knew that a little bit hard work, but it's going to count it.
It's superb. It's a little bit hard work depending on the conditions. If there are biggish waves, like right now, these occasional waves that you see are relatively bigger. Sometimes they're much more rapid big waves and gusty winds. Then it becomes more confusing because we then get more. We try to understand nature better.
Okay. That is the start of your sailing. I'll come to your professional way, then you moved on to. Tell me something about this Mark Butt name. This is a Punjabi name basically, and a Pakistani Punjabi or Punjabi, not in. How did this Butt? Tell me something about your family.
Sure. The Saligaon house, Figueiredo de Melo and Butt.
Okay.
So the Saligaon house, my mum is from Figueiredo de Melo, and she met my father in Kenya.
Okay, in Kenya.
In Kenya. There were two colleges in Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya.
Okay.
She was the head girl of her college, and he was the head boy of his college.
God. Okay.
And he's from an area in between Pakistan and India.
I understand. Yeah.
And this was pre-British India. So it was one country.
Punjabi.
Correct. It's one country, Kashmiri.
Okay.
So, but all my grandparents from his side are still in Kenya and all around Australia, Canada. Nobody is in the Indian continent anymore.
As of now.
That's the history.
So it's a mixed talent you have. Mixed baji, I can say. So you belong to that particular clan, and then I think in Kenya there was windsurfing happening from you.
Very rarely. It was just beginning at that time.
Okay.
And we had left Kenya to return to Goa.
And then you followed that here.
Here, yes, yes.
Coming back to your when was the first time you got selected for Goa? When was the competitions happening?
I think the first nationals that I won was in 68, 78. Some
85,
84, 80, around that time.
Around,
Yeah.
yes, I know that
Yeah.
better than you because you have I think it was a gold medal or bronze medal.
I won the national
You won
championships.
the national, you know, the gold medalist, and then you represented India in the Asian Games.
After that, not primarily at the Asian Games. There were a lot.
Times, regularly represented. And I think you won a bronze
European.
also for India. When was that? Somewhere
In Europe.
in Europe. Yeah. So you were competing. You were representing Goa and then representing India.
Yes.
So it must have been a big history. And how does that count now? Has something come back to being representing India at that time?
I still love the sport. However, the sport has developed.
Okay.
Right now, the Olympic class isn't the same as it was earlier.
Okay.
And right now, as all things do, the boats have an aeroplane wing equivalent underneath.
Oh.
So with a little bit of speed, they lift above the water.
Okay.
And they hydrofoil.
Okay.
So they're very fast,
Okay.
but they don't bounce.
But
They're very.
control is a little bit easier than before.
You have to be more. You have to be more of a pilot than a sailor.
Sailor. Correct.
Because it's like a vertical wing
Okay.
rather than a horizontal wing.
Okay.
So it's the same sort of aerodynamics.
Okay, wow. You have told something, the dynamics changing of your sport. Yeah?
Yes.
I was asking on a different grounds.
Yes.
Has the government recognized you? Has the Goan government recognized you? Has the Indian government recognized you for being part of India, being part of Goa? Has something happened on that levels?
In the days that I was windsurfing, yes, at that time Chief Minister Rane supported extremely well. As things continued, I wish that the current people who are windsurfing national championships and high up in the sport, locally, nationally and internationally, got more support and would be able to concentrate on focus on practice and location rather than determining how to get there.
But now there's more practice, more camps, more things. The game
There
has
are.
changed also.
Yes,
And
that has
where
increased.
is Goa placed currently?
Still high up, extremely high up in India. It's the best.
Do you get involved in the selections or something like that?
I should, but I haven't.
You haven't been approached. This is
I've
what
been approached,
you've been
but
approached.
I've been.
You're occupied with your things.
And I think I've been a little bit unnecessarily lazy in this regard, which I should change and give back to the sport what it has given me.
Mark sir, as I call you,
No,
I have caught you up before. I have caught you up before. You're my brother's age. I've caught you up before some 10 years back on episodes when we did before.
Yes.
You have been very modest so far. Already covered yourself that I'm a little bit lazy. I'm not doing anything. Tell me something. This sports. What does it take to be this kind of a sports? And what are the efforts? What are the contributions of mind, body, physical? What is required?
Perhaps the most important thing to begin with is bravery in the unknown.
Oh.
Because as you go out, the decisions that you make represent how you interact with nature around you. At the same time, if you're racing, you're interacting with what you think the other person, your other competitor is thinking to get to the same point before you do.
Wow.
So it's a different sort of ball game. It's unlike, let's say, Formula. No difference in respect. But when two cars are racing, you just know one has to go faster with a similar control.
And the road is already there.
The road is there. Correct. Here, there's no road.
Here, road mark.
You decide which way you want to go.
You could go haywire. You could
That's
end up
right.
2 hours later than your competitor who has won the game also.
That's correct.
Okay, that was very nice. So it's a little bit of bravery and decision making has to be very impact.
Yes.
If you're asked to choose between sport, swimming or yacht, I'm going to a jing bang kind of a thing where I keep snapshots where I'm going to ask you short questions.
Sure.
Shit kodi you would like or biryani? Shit kodi is curry rice?
Yeah, shit kodi.
Shit kodi. You eat that food still? Huh?
I prefer rajma and rice.
Oh, that's why you're a veg then. Okay. You would like, of course, you deal with the sea. So still I'm asking, sea ki mountains?
It's always the sea.
Always sea.
Yeah.
You don't want to try the mountains.
I'm sure they're beautiful,
Okay.
but this is closer to me.
Okay. What about cats and dogs? Whom you prefer?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Choosing Kenya from Goa?
Go.
Goa?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. Tell me something which has been the highest point of your life in as far as the sailing is concerned or anything is concerned.
So in terms of the most important things like that, one is winning the national championship because that opened up a lot for me. And the other thing was after knowing how to sail and getting a bit more experience in it, windsurfing from Bombay to Goa with my friend Clyde.
Okay. So how many times you did this?
Once.
Once only?
Yes, we should do it again.
Okay. So what were the hurdles you faced at that time? There were fishes, there were sharks?
No sharks.
There are,
of course.
Are there sharks in Arabian Ocean?
There are.
Arabian Sea?
Yes, certainly.
There are. In this area there is sharks?
Everywhere.
What are you saying?
Everywhere. But sharks...
They're not the killer sharks.
They kill fish.
Okay.
That's it.
But they don't come and attack the
Very
event.
rarely. Fewer people have, I think maybe about 11 in the 10 to 11 people in a year internationally die from a shark bite.
Shark attacks.
More people die crossing a road.
Okay, yeah, that is there.
So it depends on how we define our fear.
Okay, tell me something a moment which you would like to forget.
Lots. When I make a mistake and I'm about to win, but I make the
Something
wrong
which
mistake.
you have to forget and forgotten. You know, I'm trying to remind you of that.
Sailing overnight and going to the wrong... with alcohol.
Oh,
Sailing with alcohol. Yes.
Okay. So it did happen to you once.
Quite a few times, and certainly should not.
Okay.
Because your mind changes. You don't think correctly.
Okay.
You interact to yourself rather than to what you're actually doing.
Okay. So you ended up somewhere else.
Yes, it was in near.
Tell us about the incident.
It was near Chokli House in Mormugao.
Marvago.
And I should have been coming towards Donapala, but instead I went the other side.
So you still sail?
Yes, but
You
not,
still sail?
but not enough.
Not enough, but you need to because you need to have good physical training for this, right?
You need to be fit and flexible, and you need. It depends on the strength of the wind.
Okay.
But the beginning, everyone can, and you just need to be slightly fit and flexible. So stretch before.
But you need to have stretching. You need to have
Yes,
physical.
slightly.
Physical
Better.
thing is required all the time. Yeah?
Better, yes.
Okay, coming back to most important question.
Yes.
If the yachting association approaches you
Yes.
right now
Yes.
to be a selector for India team or
Yes.
go around and be a scout,
Yes.
how would you approach? How would it be on?
With enthusiasm and fortunacy for me to be able to give back what they've given to me.
You take this time. No, now it's time you have to give back also. Correct?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, okay, coming back, how are the financial aids and how are the financial growth in this sport? Where is it? Every sport has grown now.
Yes.
Everybody is having a backup. Everybody has his own funds carry forward. How this sport has grown? Worldwide and India-wise and Goa-wise.
It has diversified into different types of. Earlier there was one Olympic class, and the other windsurfing competitions were held in an open class. Now in the Olympic class there are two different types, slightly different type of sailing. So there's diversification as well as concentration in each diversity. But for India, in terms of the support that we all get, it's India. So there is still cricket and other
sports,
that they are the highlight.
Yeah. But you all
And
are not
that's just
getting
the way
the.
things-
You need still to get better than what you need to get.
I think we'd be all very happy with a little bit more support.
More support. Okay, which is the country which produces the best sailors? One country, Brazil.
Brazil, Holland.
Holland does also.
Yes,
Okay.
many windsurfing
Okay.
championships. Most of the big ones are held near Hawaii. The competitions are held there. So a Hawaiian-based.
So Brazil and that Southern American zone
Yes,
is
yes.
more
Yes.
attractive. Early hours of Sunday morning and Mark is out here. Mark is regular here all the time and in Baga Beach, which is his Maga Kandolim, is always operating from here. Anybody wants to reach out to Mark Butt, try to contact me first, then I'll guide you all to him. Okay, Mark, for my last phase of my Dangal, tell me something about your personal life, how it has been better, affected, what has happened in life, going for the sport and your life, living life.
The first reaction from my side would be that what I think possibly affects and upsets other people upsets me less. Because if I'm trying to win a race and I don't win it, it's because of my fault. I can always change that, and there'll always be another race. So there's optimism for the future from sailing.
So you have, from sailing, you have learned a lot of real life, and of course with the wind you follow. This is a sport you cannot push to the wind. At
Correct.
times you have to adjust with the wind, turn your sails, come back, rotate, go again with the direction. I've seen you guys doing that.
Exactly.
So you are following a sport which shows you very bluntly that you follow the wind also at times.
Yes.
Keep silent, keep quiet. Yeah?
Yes.
Coming back to yourself, any message? Before we go to that question, I would ask you one more thing.
Yes.
What do you do in a day's time? You know, how your day starts? What happens in a day? What's your routine?
These days, I'm more involved with a little bit. Very good question. But the village that I'm in, the attention for me right now is trying to take care and prevent extra development
What's your
of
wake up
saligo.
time? What's your wake up time?
About 7:30.
7:30 and then you're on the sea again in the morning.
Not yet.
Not yet. Before used to be. I
Before,
remember
yes,
the early
yes,
days. Yeah?
yes,
So
yes.
then you're spending time at home and then
Correct.
tell me something about your family involvement. What's involved?
I'm separate from my family at the moment.
Okay.
I was married, but divorced, and living alone.
Okay.
My parents are also with me, but not in the same house.
Okay.
But so I am an individual again.
Okay. So you're living as an individual as of now,
Yeah.
and of course you have a family,
Yeah.
which of course you are related to them. That's
Yes.
it happens. Coming back to your routine again. Continue,
Yeah.
please. Let me know what happens. When is your lunch? When you take lunch? How it happens? It's a different kind of a sport. We want to learn more about it.
If days that were related to the sport,
During your sporty days.
yes, then lunch would always depend on whether the wind was blowing. For example, today the wind is offshore. It's coming from the land down to the sea, which happens in this season, and that's why it's all flat now. Usually, as time continues, the winds will rotate and come from the sea.
So
And
you not reach
that-
back to lunchtime.
And so when it's rotating, that's the time to get your own nourishment.
Because it is hectic.
Yeah,
So
or
you have a sleeping time or something like a sleeping zone when you're into the sporty time. And what's your diet like? Is there something particular because you're a fit person? Of course, your weight, your body, your chest is not looking as. Of course, if I go there, I can still see some zones there. Tell me something about your diet. What is the main thing which you maintain?
high carbohydrate, rajma rice, easy.
Like rajma.
Yeah, rajma rice, sesame,
Okay.
and curd or milk on the side. So then it becomes a nutritional and it's easy to assimilate.
Any message for sports personalities who are growing from different aspects on different sports? Also for this sport,
Yeah.
anything people have to come up, give us some advice.
There are a couple of my friends over here, Donald's two children, very good windsurfers, Dane and Katya. Meet and learn much more than you can learn by yourself. In the beginning, excellent. Number two, be patient with yourself. Keep on pressurizing yourself to get to the goal that you want to reach, but be patient with obstacles.
Be patient, absorb the obstacles.
Absorb the obstacles.
Mark sir, Mark brother, it has been a great time talking
Same.
to you, and this is back with Sports Dangal. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.